Hey there, data trailblazers. Ready to really take back control of your digital life? We're diving deep into this company ArcBlock today,
Right.
really aiming to put you back in the driver's seat
Yeah.
when it comes to your data. They're up for a My Data award.
Huge.
Yeah, and we got our hands on their application.
Nice.
So we're going to really give you the inside scoop on how this groundbreaking tech works and their whole philosophy.
It's really user-centric, which is awesome. We're talking about like a total game changer.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you're calling all the shots with your data, where it's stored,
Yeah.
who can see it,
Yeah.
how it gets used.
Yeah.
ArcBlock's making that a reality.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. They call themselves an application platform, enabling decentralized identity technology and self-sovereign data spaces.
Yeah, it sounds pretty high-tech.
Which sounds very high-tech, but
Yeah.
what does that actually mean
Okay. What does it mean?
when you get down to it?
It means they're not just talking the talk, they're actually building the stuff. Like they've got apps, that are already running on this platform.
Right.
Like NFT Studio
Okay.
for digital assets, AG&E for AI-powered content creation.
Yeah.
Even Creator Studio for creators.
Yeah.
Shows you how broad they're thinking.
Yeah, and they've got the track record to back it up. I mean, since 2017,
Yeah.
they've been working with W3C, the Decentralized Identity Foundation,
Right.
My Data Global.
These are the big dogs.
Like, this is the all-star team
Yeah.
of the decentralized world.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, they won a My Data Operator Award in 2023.
That's huge. Being a part of those organizations means they're really committed to these open standards. Think of it like a universal adapter,
Okay.
but for your online identity. So like in the future, you could seamlessly go from one social media platform to a different one
Right.
and like take all of your online identity and connections with you.
Wow.
You're not stuck in one place because all your data is held hostage.
Okay, now that is a game changer. Let's dive a little deeper into the tech.
Yeah.
So ArcBlock's decentralized identity layer,
Okay.
it's built on this idea that every identifier is actually a W3C DID,
Okay.
even blockchain addresses. And I know we've been saying DI a lot, so for those who are new to this.
Yeah. So imagine a DID is kind of like a digital key card,
Okay.
but for all of your data.
Yeah.
So instead of like handing over your driver's license to verify your age,
Every time.
imagine you could just share the specific pieces of info that they need.
Right.
You control who gets a copy of the key card,
Okay.
what information they can see,
Right.
and you can revoke access whenever you want. So no more worrying about data breaches or companies selling your info.
So instead of Facebook or Google
Yeah.
holding all the cards, it's me.
Exactly.
That's a huge shift.
It is. And that brings us to the core of ArcBlock's philosophy. Self-sovereign data. Think of it this way. Right now, your data is just like scattered all over the internet.
Yeah.
Social media, shopping sites, banks, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
With self-sovereign data, you actually get to choose where it's stored.
Okay.
So cloud service.
Sure.
Your own personal server. Go for it.
Right.
Even like the more secure decentralized options like IPFS or Filecoin are possibilities. Totally up to you.
And they're actually backing it up, too, because their Guide Spaces platform
Right.
won that My Data Operator Award in 2023.
Mm.
They're all in on this,
Yeah, they are.
promising full support for this whole ecosystem in 2024 and beyond.
Winning that award, that's like a gold medal
Wow.
in the data ownership Olympics. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
really shows that they're serious about this whole My Data movement. Like they're not just talking.
Yeah.
They're actually making solutions and pushing for actual change.
And get this, they're weaving this My Data support into every single app
Wow.
built on their platform. So this isn't just like a side project for them.
Yep.
It's the core of everything they're doing.
Yeah. This is where it gets really interesting because we're not just talking about one company changing how they do things.
Yeah.
We're talking about changing how the entire digital world works. Like embedding My Data principles into the actual fabric of the internet, making user control the default,
Yeah.
not just the exception.
So how does this My Data at the core thing actually work?
So they have three key points
Okay.
that they focus on. The first one is this comprehensive implementation idea.
Right.
So they're not just dipping their toes in the water here.
Right.
They're going all in.
They're diving in head first.
Exactly. Integrating My Data principles into every single level, making sure that that user control is baked in from the start,
Yeah.
not an afterthought.
Like that baked in. Point number 2, decentralized identifier focus. So they're really hitting home this idea of DATIs as the foundation to making this user-centric data control a reality.
This is so crucial. Daties, they aren't just some abstract tech jargon, okay? They are literally the building blocks
Right.
of this new user-centric internet, that whole digital keycard thing. Daties make it possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then finally, they emphasize my data everywhere.
Yes.
Not just limiting this to one platform, but this is something they want to see as the standard everywhere.
Yeah, they want to break down those walls,
Yeah.
and create a much more open
Yeah.
and equitable playing field where users have so much more control
Right.
over the data. ArcBlock wants to get to the point where my data isn't just some niche concept. It's just the norm.
Right.
It's just how we do things.
Yeah. Now they're taking it a step further
Yeah.
with these 3 My Data shifts.
I like
Basically showing how their whole approach is changing the entire relationship between users and their data.
Okay.
So this is really exciting because we're not just talking about principles anymore.
Yeah.
We're going to see how they actually benefit you.
Exactly. Tangible benefits.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's dive into these shifts. First up, we have the move from formal to actionable rights.
So for years, we've had all of these data protection rights
Yay.
just buried in legal documents and these privacy policies that nobody reads.
Nobody reads
No one. ArcBlock is taking those rights
Okay.
and they're using DADs
Okay.
to turn them into actual tools that you can use.
So less legal jargon, more user-friendly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Remember that button that you always wish you had
Yes.
to download all your data from a website?
Right.
That's what this is.
Okay.
It makes it real.
I love that. Shift number 2, going from data protection to data empowerment. So they want to help you actually use your data,
Yes.
not just have it locked away somewhere.
This is about giving you control. Imagine using your own data to find services that fit you,
Right.
get better deals, or even support research that you care about.
Right.
Data can be such a powerful tool
Yeah.
when you know how to use it.
And that brings us to shift number 3, moving from closed to open ecosystems.
Break down those walls.
Yes.
Data silos controlled by big tech. Gone. We need a level playing field.
Right.
So imagine switching from one service to a completely different one, and you don't have to start over from scratch.
Oh.
You just take all your data with you.
Like switching banks,
Exactly.
but so much easier. So much easier.
You just take everything with you.
Exactly. A couple clicks and you're good to go.
Now that is freedom of choice. That kind of flexibility is like unheard of these days. It's almost radical. Like they're saying, big tech, your time is over. It's the user's turn now.
Yeah, and they're not stopping there. They're building something totally new.
Okay.
So they have these 6 core My Data objectives that kind of guide their whole process.
6 objectives. We're about to get really deep in the weeds here. So objective number 1.
Objective number 1, human-centric control of personal data. We're talking about like really specific control over who can see your data, what they can do with it.
Right.
This is where those DIDs, those digital key cards, really come in.
So I'm not just giving away my entire digital life when I sign up for something.
I can set boundaries. I choose what to share.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where, like, you can share that you're old enough,
Right.
but you don't have to give out your birthday.
Right.
Or prove you've got the skills for a job without telling them your whole life story.
Wow, okay.
That's the power of it.
Okay, I'm really starting to see how this could change things.
Yeah.
So what's next on this objective list? What's number 2?
Number 2 is individual as the point of integration. Sounds technical, but it's pretty simple.
Oh, yeah.
You are the center of your own data world.
So instead of like my data being on a million different apps and websites,
Yeah, it's a mess.
it's all connected.
Together?
I can get to it all in one place.
Exactly. Imagine one secure dashboard,
Okay.
and it's got everything.
Yeah.
Health records, money stuff, social media, all of it.
That would be amazing. No more digital clutter.
Right.
Okay, objective number 3. Hit me with it.
Okay, number 3 is about action. It's called individual empowerment. It's great to have all your data, but what are you going to do with it?
Right, so we're not just talking about storing it. We're talking about using it to actually make our lives better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine analyzing your spending habits,
Okay.
seeing where you could save money,
Right.
or like using your own health data to make smarter decisions.
Okay, now this is really interesting. I like this proactive approach.
Me too.
Okay, so what's objective number 4? There's got to be more.
Oh, yeah. Portability, access, and reuse. Remember those walled gardens?
Oh, yeah.
ArcBlock says they got to go.
Yeah.
Your data, you take it with you wherever.
So if I want to ditch a service and try something new, I don't have to start from zero?
Nope. It's like switching banks, but a million times easier.
Okay, that's my kind of freedom.
Right.
Okay, 2 more objectives left. What's up next?
All right, number 5 is all about trust. Transparency and accountability. Users have a right to know how their data is being used,
Okay.
and companies should be held accountable.
So no more shady stuff hidden in those privacy policies that nobody reads.
Yeah, like buried in legalese.
Exactly.
Nope. Bring it out in the open.
I like it.
Imagine being able to track who's seen your data, when, and what for.
Right.
If a company messes up,
Yeah.
you've got the proof.
Transparency and accountability, two things we definitely need to hear more of, especially in the tech world. Okay, last one. What's the final objective on their list?
This one's a big one. Interoperability. Basically making sure all these different services and platforms, they can all work together.
Okay.
Data can flow between them.
So no more like isolated apps. Everything is kind of interconnected and talking to each other.
Yeah. And ArcBlock's using open standards to make that happen, like a universal language for the digital world.
So instead of being stuck with one company, I can choose what works best for me and know my data can come along. That's the dream, right? No more data silos, no more walled gardens, just information flowing freely, and we're the ones in control.
It really is a powerful vision.
Yeah.
And ArcBlock is putting in the work to make it happen.
This whole deep dive has been pretty eye-opening.
Yeah.
We got a glimpse into this future where users actually have a say in how their data gets used.
It's a future we need.
Yeah.
We've been letting big tech call the shots for too long. ArcBlock saying, hey, there's a different way, a way where users have the power.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into ArcBlock and my data,
Okay.
what are the key takeaways you think our listeners should remember?
I think the biggest one is that ArcBlock is serious about this whole user control, data ownership thing.
Yeah.
It's not just talk. They're building the tech. They're part of the movement. They're pushing for real change.
Yeah, and they're doing it in a way that feels, I don't know, kind of cutting edge,
Okay.
but also easy to understand.
Right. It's not as complicated as it sounds.
Yeah, like DIDs, verifiable credentials, self-sovereign data. It all comes down to giving users more control and security.
Exactly. And they're looking at the bigger picture, too.
Okay.
Transparency, accountability, interoperability.
Right.
Those are the things we need for a better digital future.
It's a future I am so ready for. So here's something to think about as you go about your day. What could you do if you really owned your data? What would be possible if you were in control of your digital self?
That's the question we all need to be asking. This isn't just about tech anymore. It's about taking back our digital lives. It's about shaping the future of the internet so it works for us, not the other way around.